Hello, happy New Year and welcome to the Emirates FA Cup show, coming to you live from our hub here in central London.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing you the best of the weekend's action as well as the actual fourth round draw itself live as well. And we're going to be having our say on the most mouth-watering ties as well, aren't we?
We are indeed. Not just our own say though, we want to hear from you guys as well. So get in touch, give us your questions, give us your thoughts throughout the show on all the goals and games from the weekend. Of course, it's not just yourself and me here. We've got some friends over to watch the draw with us, starting off with England international, FA Cup winner 2011. Micah, you're happy to be here, hopefully?
Of course I'm happy to be here. It's like being in my front room, to be honest. It's beautiful.
And you've got some fond memories of the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's special. I love the FA Cup, always have. And hoping we get some nice ties tonight.
Yeah, well, the only one here on the sofa that's actually won the FA Cup, but sat next to you, we've also got the award-winning host of the Peter Crouch podcast and BBC Radio 1 DJ, Chris Stark.
Yeah, it's not quite England international, is it? As you said, it is like being in your living room. These are your exact sofas, I'm led to believe, as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Some funny stains on a couple of...
It's not our sofa. Now, Watford, your team, who you support, got to the FA Cup final last year. I know that you were very nervous for that game, but were you as nervous as this?
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here at all. And
this is the best interview I've had today. I'm
serious?
begging you. Yes.
I support a club called Watford Football Club.
Okay.
And they're like my local team. This is ridiculous. So
this is great.
if you wanted to come along, what I would say is I can get you a ticket.
We're having some chicken and we're gonna go see a Championship League game.
Bosh a couple of pints.
Yeah, pints I get. Pints I like.
Am I done?
Yeah.
Mila, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope that was all right.
Did you bosh a couple of pints with Mila Kunis?
She never turned up, sadly.
You stood up, mate.
We're in the Premier League now, you know, so maybe she'll turn up. You never know.
How old was you there?
How old do you think I was?
You look very young.
I'm still very young.
So what were you more nervous for?
Oh, I don't know. I think that was probably the one time in my life I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. But the FA Cup last year, it was an amazing run with Watford and got to the final. It was still an amazing day. Went out, drinks, parties. It was awesome. I just wish the result had been maybe slightly less.
Who did you lose to?
Demeaning.
Oh, he's got to do it. He's got to do it. Micah, last round, you were actually drawing the balls out.
Let's not talk about that.
Did you enjoy it?
I don't really get nervous in life, but drawing the balls, I was so nervous. You should have seen how slow I was picking them out, turning them.
I actually was going to ask you that because I would be most nervous about getting a ball and it being upside down and being like, what number is that?
Yeah,
is that what it was like?
Luckily, they've got lines on them now.
Okay, fine.
So you know which side
They put them in for you.
they're supposed to be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I suppose a 6 and a 9.
It would be, yeah.
Right.
So I was nervous. And I had to pat the bags down as well.
God.
Because there's been incidents where the
ball
ball's
gets
been
left
left
in.
in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was quite nervous, actually.
What about hot balls? Because that's how you rig it, isn't it? Apparently, you get the balls hot so you can...
Well, I'm not going to rig it, am I?
I'm just trying to throw you under the bus here now.
Well, you've got an easier gig tonight. You get to sit on the sofa with us, watch it, and you guys can still see the draw happen live with us. We're just not actually physically doing the draw.
We don't have to touch any balls.
No, not yet. You know, they might give us the job one day.
One day, maybe.
That draw is coming at 7:35.
It is, yes. So you get the best of both worlds, really, because you get to watch us or react to the best ties that come out in the draw, and you can have your say as well. We want to hear from you. Hashtag Emirates FA Cup on Twitter. All right, you may have noticed in the third round that all of the ties actually have been kicking off at slightly odd times. It's not what we're used to seeing. Matches normally kicking off on the hour or on the half hour, and the reason for this is due to the heads up initiative, which I'm sure most of you have now heard about. It's the initiative, which is a season-long campaign between the FA and Heads Together, where every third round match will kick off a minute later than the usual scheduled time to encourage fans to take a minute to start looking after their mental health. And it's a really great campaign.
Yeah, I think it's great to see it. Micah, you must be encouraged to see it becoming a bigger part of the football conversation now, because it's always been there, the mental health debate and chats about it, but it hasn't been in the forefront of media.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had 2 people in my family. One's still going through it now, and my brother came out the other end as well. So I've been very close to it. So to see this happening is just inspirational, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on, we obviously saw some huge games this weekend. Yeah. Perhaps none other than Liverpool versus Everton, the Merseyside derby. It was the biggest draw probably when you were involved in the draw that came out the hat, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got a lot of stick for that.
You did get
Oh, that's amazing that people blame you for the draw.
I get blamed for everything today.
And here tonight as well.
Well, it definitely featured one of the best goals of the round. I don't think anyone can deny that. Should we take a look at it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Jones, oh, what a goal! It's an absolutely stunning goal by Curtis Jones for Liverpool.
I mean, what a way to announce yourself. 18-year-old Curtis Jones, Micah. What a goal that was.
Wow. I think he's born in Liverpool as well.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So it means so much more to him, being born in the city and to score against your rivals like that. But not just any goal. A goal like that is just, it's just great to see. And I always a bit biased to the young players coming through the youth and stuff. But yeah, it was an amazing goal.
But don't you think that's what's amazing about the FA Cup at this stage as well, is that you've got young players and you've got slightly older players having a crack at playing where maybe they wouldn't be able to in the Premier League or Championship.
Yeah,
it's great to see.
Because a lot of, like you said, we see a lot of players we might not see. A lot of people are going for league, but the FA Cup, it can't be, frowned at. It's one of the best competitions there is. Yeah. These young players getting an opportunity to play in this, it's just fantastic.
That goal's insane.
It was
I don't even know what you press on the controller for that one, Spencer.
How to finesse.
You ever scored one of those when you're playing?
On the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish. I just cross it and go for the header every time,
In terms of the match itself, first half was just end to end, wasn't it? And Everton could have actually gone in at the break 3-0 up, hadn't it have been for Adrian with some brilliant saves.
Yeah, Adrian's been played really well all season. Obviously, he's got Alisson ahead of him, but when he's coming, he's been sensational. But Everton had a strong enough side to go and they had enough chances. But it's the magical of the FA Cup when the young players do something special. So Everton probably deserved to win the game. For their first half chances, but Liverpool. I actually thought in the first half chances, Everton deserved to win it, but it's always nice to see Story because the youngsters of Liverpool getting opportunities.
Well, we asked you guys to get in touch at home. James Pearce has been in touch, and he said, "What a moment for the lifelong LFC fan, Curtis Jones. You grew up in the city centre. Anfield goes wild," which they definitely did. What I want to ask you, Chris, because I know what you were doing at 18. You were well underway. But what were you doing at 18?
What was I doing at 18? Yeah. Oh, nothing to talk about, really.
Nothing you want to think right now.
No, listen, it's just watching football and it's crazy when you see people, like Curtis who can... they're just achieving so much more than I was doing age 18. You can't help but be a bit jealous about that situation. But what's it like, when you're playing that young, what's it like getting your family and mates in? Because if one of my mates was him, I'd be rinsing him for the tickets and everything.
Oh yeah, people did rinse me for tickets. Yeah. They always say, "Oh, I'll pay," but when it comes to paying, we end up paying like $2 grand worth of tickets. And back then, when you first come in, everyone thinks you're on loads of money, but you're on like £80 a week. Yeah. And you end up paying, your bonus, two.
He's on 80 quid a week.
Well, I don't know what his, but I'm talking about what I was on.
It's been a bit more now, probably, after that. Right, another game we've got to talk about, Chris, obviously, Watford fan, we need to talk about. I feel like it's not like you lost.
I'm not having a great time here so far.
You're not out, but it really feels like you lost, doesn't it? Because you're 3-0 up against Tranmere, and what happened?
Look, first half, all good, 3-0. There was a substitution. It felt like... obviously this was a very different Watford team to what we've been seeing the last few games, and Watford have been a bit rocky in the league, but then have come good recently. This wasn't our strongest team that we were playing, but I still don't think that's an excuse. I think if you're a Premier League team, you should be beating Tranmere. And it's an annoying replay in a way. Away, it's going to be difficult.
Well, no one wants any extra games, do they? You hear all the managers in the Premier League at the moment moaning about how many fixtures there are and how knackered everyone is. So you don't want the replay.
It's hard because it's the FA Cup, so you want to win it, don't you? Everything. I'm a big believer in the Cup. I'm a big believer in Watford doing well. We have done well. There's been, in the last sort of 6-7 years, Watford have got good form in the FA Cup. So I personally want us to do well in it.
Yeah,
so I say let's hammer them.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Nigel Pearson's been saying the same thing because ever since he's come in, you keep getting red cards.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I like the Pearson approach. Have you had any dealings with Nigel Pearson?
No, I've not. No.
He seems no nonsense.
Look like a hard man.
Yeah.
He does look like a hard man.
I wouldn't mess with him.
No.
Thing is, in the game, Chris, is as you were saying, 3-0 up. Watford fans are probably thinking this is the perfect start to this game because now we can rest a few players. We've easily won this. Tranmere aren't going to get back into this.
Yeah.
That's than what you were thinking.
Yeah, I guess so. But then you've got to remember, Tranmere, this is an unbelievably huge game for them. And I think there can be a little bit, especially in these early rounds, of... I hate the phrase giving too much respect or not enough respect in this instance. But, in the FA Cup, anyone can beat anyone. And that's the beauty of it. I just think we should, and I think every football club should do it, personally as a football fan, play your strongest team in the FA Cup. You've got to.
Yeah.
Micah, I'm sure maybe you've been in this exact situation, I don't know, but put yourself in the shoes of a Watford player there, Premier League player, playing someone in a lower league. What would you think would be going on in the dressing room after having that 3-0 lead? Would there be a lot of...
Yeah, there'd be a lot of tension,
yeah,
for sure. I think sometimes when you're playing at the top of the league, you can disrespect the lower team, especially going 3-0 up. No one expected them to come back from that, but that's why everyone loves the FA Cup because it's so special. Anything can happen at any time, and no one expected them to come back and draw the game, but I think that's what makes it special.
But it's a Premier League team which wasn't playing our best Premier League players, and therefore, I don't know what the mentality is like when you're in that dressing room and you've got the expectation of being a Premier League club, but not necessarily the quality of what that club is.
The players that come into the team, they're trying to do all they can to get into the number one, and start in the Premier League.
It's true, they should be fighting.
So they should be fired up, and they just probably took the foot off the gas a little bit, so... it happens.
We're talking a lot about Watford, obviously, letting it slip, but we should focus on Tranmere.
Yeah.
Nicola Palios has been in touch as well and said, what an absolutely fantastic comeback. That's the Tranmere spirit. Never say die. And I've got to admit, you're 3-0 down. It'd be so easy to give up, wouldn't it?
Sorry, I loved it. I loved the comeback.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what you want to see. We were watching it, like a big group of us together watching the game, and we thought the game was over. And then all of a sudden you're like, hang on a minute, it's 3-2. And then the penalty gets awarded and you're like, they're going to come back.
But that's why I've got so much respect for Tranmere and Tranmere fans as well, because they've turned that around. And being a Watford fan, my happiest memories of the FA Cup was us being in that position. We were the underdogs. It wasn't that long ago. And, Watford are a well-established Premier League team now, but it really wasn't that long ago that every FA Cup match I went to, my happiest memories of FA Cup matches, third round, fourth round, where we were against Premier League opposition and won.
Yeah.
I remember beating Southampton, Portsmouth at a time where, we really shouldn't. They're some of the best memories that I've got.
Yeah, keep your thoughts coming in. #Emirates FA Cup. Right, let's move on to the 2019 winners then. Manchester City, they got off to a good start in the competition. 4-1 win over Port Vale, your former club.
Yeah, it's just the norm for Man City now.
Look at the smile on his face.
I don't want to brag
when he
too
says
much,
that.
but yeah, it's good. I was happy to see some of the younger players get a run out as well. But Man City's squad's so big, players who are not in the first team have to get a run out as well. So I would like to see a little bit more of the youth get a chance, but yeah, it was an easy result in the end.
Speaking of youth getting a chance, we should talk about the centre-back, Harwood Bellis, right? Scored a goal from centre-back, which is impressive on its own.
Yeah.
But do you know he's the youngest Brit or Englishman to score for Man City since 2006? And do you know who it was in 2006? Mike, any ideas?
Yes,
Oh, no way.
Idea, but we can't call that a goal, surely not.
You're not having it?
No, it ricocheted from about 3 different people.
He's just jealous.
Not as good as your goal then.
Definitely not as good as mine.
Well, take us back to this moment, because when you scored this goal, you can just see the emotion. Look at you run off there.
Look at the shirt.
Number 45, so
Yeah,
you're young, you got number 45.
Honestly, it was probably one of the best moments of my career.
Really?
Because it sort of put me on the map. I'd had better performances in a shirt, you know, as a youngster when I first got into the squad. But, you know, when I scored that goal, I had probably about 2,000 messages. And I was only 17 at the time, so I'd only left school a year before. And everyone's like, I didn't even know you played football, you know. It was crazy. It was a surreal moment. But I owe it a lot to Stuart Pearce, because to trust me at that, you know, 17 years of age, and it's not like we had injuries or anything like that. He believed in my ability, so yeah, I owe a lot to
I bet it's so hard in those special moments to contain your emotions. Like you could see, you were just like, I don't care where I am right now, I'm going off to celebrate.
Do you remember being in the crowd?
I remember being able to breathe. Yeah, I jumped in there and I was just. The emotions were so, I couldn't believe it. If you remember the interview afterwards, actually.
Don't do that again.
I've learned from that now.
We're going to move on to another club, also involving one of your former clubs, Aston Villa, who played Fulham. We talked about the magic of the cup, you know, teams from different leagues meeting, and this was one where a Premier League team got beat by Fulham in the Championship.
Yeah, but I think Fulham, you know, on paper and the side that put out is good enough or challenging for the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of a upset as people think. And Villa had to rest a lot of their players because they want to stay in the Premier League.
Yep.
They're in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, so I think that's a competition that they've got an eye on more, just because even though the FA Cup is a better competition, not respect to the Carabao Cup, they've just got more chance of getting to the final because they're you know in the semis there.
Yeah, a couple of cracking goals from Fulham though. I mean, when you saw the knockout one go in first, you're then thinking, there's not going to be another goal today that beats that one.
Yeah.
And then Harry Arter goes and scores this worldie. What a goal, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, their training ground, right? I love their setup there. I was working there on something else not that long ago, and I just thought it was a great atmosphere. It was really fun, but I sort of was watching them training, and it's amazing when you see teams train because they're scoring these worldy goals in training where the pressure's off, and then you watch them come and perform like that, and those kind of goals that look like they were just straight off the training ground. I think it's amazing that you can be in the FA Cup and be that relaxed enough to be able to take those
Brilliant,
sort of shots on.
Yeah, Wolves Man United have got to do it all again. That one was a goalless draw. My side, Brighton, they're out of the FA Cup.
Yeah, we haven't got to worry about them in the draw.
Haven't got to worry about picking out their number later. Sheffield Wednesday are, of course, through. And your side, West Ham are in the draw.
The Moyes effect continues. We haven't conceded a goal this decade.
It's been 7 days.
We haven't conceded a goal. Anyway, let's more about that later. We'll see who West Ham get. We've got a special treat for us now. We've got a chat with one of the heroes of the weekend, Aaron Wilbraham, who you may know scored the goal that got Rochdale back in it against Newcastle. He might not want me to mention the fact that he's 40 years old, but I will.
I think he's expecting it.
Yeah, and we're expecting to speak to Aaron now as well. I think we've got him on the line. How you doing, mate?
Okay?
We're good, thank you. Thanks for chatting to us.
No problem.
So, obviously, you scored the equaliser that kept your side in it. How were you feeling in that moment?
Yeah, it was a massive for the boys, obviously, to get the replay and go to travel to St James's Park, and all the fans and players are looking forward to it. But yeah, it was a great feeling when you like see the ball at the back of the net. It's the best feeling in the world. Micah will tell you that.
Yeah. I don't want to keep going on about your age, mate, but not only are you 40, the guy who set up your goal is 17 years old, which means that you were 23 when he was born. So I'm very sure that you were playing football already by the time he was born. Talk to me about this goal, like the fact that he's set it up for you as well.
Yeah, a lot's been made of that, and he's a great player, Luke, to be fair, only 17, and he's scored at Old Trafford this season, got the assist against Newcastle, and yeah, he's a great player, and 3 years older than my daughter, so it's mad. And
Wow.
Love that.
The same age as most of the lads' mums and dads in the team. I have to kind of be that father figure now and again, but I don't mind it.
Right, well, for anyone who hasn't yet seen the goal, let's just remind you just how special it was.
Matheson sprinting beyond him. It's a fabulous run from Matheson. It's Wilbraham. It's 1-1. The grand old man of the Dale has equalised, and Scotland dreams.
Great stuff from you there, Aaron. The question is, can we expect more goals from you in the next round? And who are you looking out for in the draw from a Rochdale perspective?
Yeah, to be fair, from a selfish point of view, I'm a Manchester City fan as well, so I'd like to get City in the next round, and that'd be great if I could do that.
Aaron, I want to know, where are the rest of your teammates watching the draw tonight? Do you all get together? What happens on a night like this where you could potentially get another big draw if you beat Newcastle?
To be fair, most of the lads will be at home. We've got training in the morning, so it'll just probably go off in the group chat once the draw gets made, and we'll have a bit of a chat about it in WhatsApp. But yeah, I'll be watching it at home as well.
That's the thing, now that there's WhatsApp,
Changes
it just changes it. No one gets together anymore.
Did you used to get together and watch the FA Cup draw?
WhatsApp group as well, yeah.
It's all on WhatsApp.
nowadays, isn't it?
So Aaron, what's the name of the WhatsApp group?
It's actually called Hopper's Lost a Tooth, and it's because a young lad in the pre-season trip, we went on a night out and one of the young boys lost his tooth. So he's called Harrison Hopper and he lost his tooth on the night out, so it's called Hopper Lost a Tooth.
Love that. You'll only hear that here. Aaron, thank you so much for chatting to us, and best of luck for the rest of the FA Cup. Hope you go far.
Thank you.
Cheers. Now, that was one of the special moments from the third round this weekend. But our friends at Deliveroo want to know what your highlights are from the third round as well.
Yeah, lots of highlights. Don't necessarily have to be goals, although we've already spoke about some of the special goals. One moment that sticks out in my mind is at Sheffield United, where one of the guys in the crowd ended up as the fourth official because they had an issue. Put his hand up. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? You don't see that every
That's
day.
class, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can better that, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
Did you have a standout moment from this weekend?
No stand-up moments.
Nothing?
No.
Man City winning, surely?
Probably a pie at Preston.
He was talking about this pie
What was
earlier.
in the pie?
Well, I was supposed to be vegan, so I don't know. You're not supposed to ask me that.
Oh,
I know it was steak. Well, it was steak, yeah. Steak pie.
Steak pie, very nice.
Fantastic.
So you're meant to be vegan, what, for January? Veganuary?
Well, yeah, that was just because I went to
you got
Burnley.
5 days in, Micah.
Burnley do the best pies.
Right.
But then I went to Preston and they said, no, we do the best pies.
Is this how you pick the games you cover?
Well, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Of all the best pies.
This is amazing. This is a TV show ready to go, isn't it? Just going to send him doing pies.
And then the pie, you know.
Well, look, tell us what your standout moments from the weekend were. Tweet us, use the hashtag Emirates FA Cup.
Yeah, definitely. We've got one more game to come, though, of course.
Yeah,
Don't forget, there could be some more highlights. Arsenal Leeds is going to be after this. Alex Scott's actually there, and she's going to be part of the draw. She's taking over your job, Micah, for this round.
Well, let's hope she does a good job.
Yeah, we'll see what she's been up to so far, actually.
Hello everyone, Alex Scott here. We are at the Emirates, there it's behind me. Getting excited ahead of the game, Arsenal v Leeds, of course. Don't know the team news yet, whether we're putting out a strong team. I hope so, because want to bring that FA Cup back to the Arsenal. But ahead of that, we will be doing the draw. There's chappers as well. Arsenal and Leeds 28, look out for that number. See ya.
I love that. We have seen the team news now, haven't we? And Arsenal have fielded a fairly strong team. So don't forget, that one kicks off at 7:56 tonight. So not long to wait for the final game in the third round, and not long to wait now until the draw. We are literally about a minute and a half away. So let's take a look at the numbers that you need to look out for your team in the draw tonight. So let's get to Liverpool there, number 12. Where are Watford on there, Chris? Have you found them yet?
I'm struggling to see them. They're definitely in there.
Watford or Tranmere, 21.
There they are. Number 21's yours there, Chris.
21.
West Ham for you there, Spencer, 29.
Obviously, 28 was Arsenal or Leeds, as Alex mentioned. We're just one up on West Ham, 29. Northampton Town just after that, 30. We don't want to see, it depends what you're into, but do you want to see 29 versus 23? West Ham, Millwall, fireworks.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
but where?
Hopefully West Ham.
18 was Manchester City.
Yes, I already did my homework.
You got that one.
Yeah,
You've got that one memorised.
We'll take anyone.
Really?
Yeah, we'll
you
take anyone.
You don't fear Liverpool?
We don't fear Liverpool.
No, but is there a team that you want?
Because of the league table.
Well, we've won the league the last two seasons.
last decade,
we've got to share it around.
Last decade. Chris, who do you want for Watford if you beat Tranmere?
Well, it's hard because at this stage of things, I love the FA Cup. So for me, I want Watford to go as far as possible in it. So I would rather avoid Liverpool, City, avoid the big ones.
Do you want to also avoid, say, a Premier League team as well? I think that's kind of what we're looking for. We'll get to that in a minute because the draw is literally just about to start.
This is it. I'm buzzing for this. I'm going to predict it right now. West Ham are going to get Watford, Chris. We're going to have a West Ham.
Oh, mate, imagine.
It's going to happen.
All right, so here we go. The draw is just about to begin. You get to watch it with us right now, and we're going to be reacting to it with Micah and Chris, who have just nearly knocked over the coffee table.
Getting excited.
Everyone's getting very excited for this. So the draw is about to take place. Make sure you keep your thoughts coming in. There's going to be a poll at the end as well that you can vote on which is the best draw of the round for the fourth round. And you can hashtag Emirates FA Cup if you want to have your say on any of the ties.
I want to know who people want, but I also want to know who people want to avoid.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of different teams in there to look at. The reason I mentioned Northampton Town, good friend of mine, Scott Pollock, plays for Northampton Town. He came through my team.
And he played
we discovered him on the streets
Saturday,
of Northampton.
wasn't it? Yeah.
He played, he came as a sub. Yeah, he's doing all right. And for me, it'd be great to see West Ham go up against Northampton, because no disrespect to him, but hopefully we'd win that. But also get to see him play against us, which would be quite cool.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Scott Pollock. Yeah, great kid, good player.
All eyes on Pollock.
Yeah.
All eyes
Northampton
on
Town.
Pollock. So the draws are about to begin. Alex Scott and David O'Leary that are doing the draw tonight. So Micah, you did it for the third round, the draw for the third round. You had to get all dressed up in a suit, and then you turn up and you got Tony Adams just outshining everyone with his velvet suit, isn't he?
He was hilarious.
Was he?
What a character he was. Obviously, I used to like Arsenal growing up as well because of Vieira, and then obviously knowing the history of the club. So when I met him, I was quite starstruck.
Really?
And then we got into conversation, and he was talking about he did the draw beforehand, and he was a bit of a character. So when we was doing it again, he was sort of messing around when he was doing it.
Yeah, I could tell.
Everyone was getting a little bit frustrated, but. Yeah, he was a good person to do it with because he had a little bit of banter as well.
Does this look a bit more serious than the setup here? We've got
it does look
O'Leary's
a bit more serious, yeah. Everything's a bit too serious nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
Very
agree.
Arsenal heavy as well. We had Adams last time. We got O'Leary and where's the West Ham reps?
Bias.
By the way, what a defensive partnership that would have been, Richards and Adams. You would not want to go up against them.
So obviously you're in a bit more of a comfortable position tonight. Is this a bit better for you than actually doing the draw?
Yeah, this is. Can we not do this every week?
Every round.
You can come again.
Every round, yeah. If I get invited back, it's.
But you know, when you did the draw, then I assume you got loads of messages from people having a go about what you'd drawn, as if it's like the weather.
It's like it's your fault. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
hammering
for the
me,
weather, you
basically.
know. Yeah. So you won't get that today, I hope.
So I wanted. They had the obviously the lower teams wanting to go to the big clubs.
Yeah.
And the big club just wanting to like easy rounds, do you know what I mean?
Or like home ties.
Yeah,
Home ties,
so
don't
it's
they?
like we don't want to go to so and so. That's 4 hours away. So.
But then the good draws you get all the praise for as well, don't you? So
Well, I didn't get much praise.
didn't get much praise.
Michael, have you ever played an FA Cup game where your game is the game before the draw? So the Arsenal Leeds players now, will they be watching this?
We're starting, I think. We're going to start the
We're
draw.
starting.
Are we on?
Oh, it's false alarm. Keep going.
It's a great question.
No, never
happens.
happened that. No, we always know who we're playing. Like
Right, I
Here
can
we
confirm
go.
the balls are going
Balls
in.
are now finally going in.
This is the moment. There's a false
Here we
alarm
go.
before.
So Alex got the job you had last
Well,
time.
look to me patting
Right.
it down.
There
There
you
we go. Look, she's patting it
They're
down.
checking.
She's like,
She's
it's
checked
definitely
3 or
gonna
4
rule
times
out.
there. Look at
Just in
that.
case there's a rogue one.
You got to give her a little
This
whirl
little
there.
swirl round,
Yeah.
like when you do that little swirl round, I would hold on to one. Be like, this is the one.
Here we go, 21.
21.
What? Is that me?
First out the hat.
Is that me?
is
21.
Watford.
Oh, sorry, I'm not prepared for this.
Is it? It's not West Ham.
5.
Got 5.
Wolves, Man United.
Wolves on Man United. Chris, how are you feeling about that?
Well, you see, for me, Wolves have become a little bit of a rivalry with Watford, and obviously the FA Cup last season, that was a massive game. There's quite a lot of bitterness from Wolves fans towards myself, and but it's all part.
You
of the
got
game.
one over though.
God,
so
that's I mean that's a big game, isn't it?
it's massive. Who would you prefer, Wolves or Man United?
God, I don't know. I really don't
At least
know.
you avoided Chelsea, which can't
Yeah.
be said for Hull.
I'm going to
Hull
have
got
to
Chelsea.
think about this a little bit.
Yeah, God, first out the hat. We weren't ready for that, were we, Chris?
I can leave now.
Southampton here taking on either Middlesbrough or Tottenham.
Okay.
That was an interesting tie this weekend, Micah, wasn't it? Because obviously it's Jonathan Woodgate against his old club, and they're doing all right now.
Yeah, they're doing
Middlesbrough,
all right.
aren't
They went
they?
off to a little bit of a rocky start, but he's got them playing well. January is here now, so hopefully he'll get a few more loans.
Well, he's asked for some players, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think they just need a little bit. I've watched them a
That
couple of
should
times.
have been us. That should have been Brian.
Championship
QPR
clash.
against Sheffield Wednesday.
Championship clash there. 14 next. It's Bournemouth. Okay.
Okay, so we're back to another.
Would I take
Premier League
Bournemouth?
side.
We just beat
Would
them
you take
4-0.
Bournemouth?
We just beat them
Yeah,
4-0.
but they're just.
Oh, I'm not getting. That's Arsenal.
28.
That's Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal,
28,
Leeds.
that is
There you go.
Leeds.
Arsenal.
Oh,
Let's not forget Leeds.
it is.
Yeah,
Don't
let's not forget forget Leeds.
It's not
Could
over
be
yet.
Leeds.
Mighty Leeds, let's forget them.
That's kicking off at 7:56, just a reminder.
But they must have one eye on this draw. They must know that this draw has happened when they step out on the pitch.
I would be,
right?
surely they're
If you're a
the lads are
manager,
watching it in the
you
dressing
don't want
room.
them doing that, do you?
No, you're fully focused on the game.
I'm like, just watch it.
This is where you want West Ham. Is it 29? Oh,
24, Derby.
Northampton against Derby, where Wayne Rooney's obviously there now, and he's played a couple of
Scott
games.
Pollock versus Rooney. Remember the
there you
name.
go.
Here we go,
Remember the name.
26.
Here we go, Brentford. They've got a pub on every corner of the ground.
That's
It's
pretty
always
cool,
a good
isn't it?
place to go.
Brentford's a tough ground to go. They
Is
play
it?
some really good football.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
is
like
that number
Barcelona
one?
when I went
Leicester.
That is Leicester,
Leicester.
City.
Ooh, that's a nice.
Yeah, that's a good game, that. Yeah.
Good game of football, that one.
Yeah.
That's the FA Cup there, isn't it? Brentford,
Yeah.
Leicester.
Millwall. Oh, God.
Here we go.
It's going to happen.
Here we go.
What are you against?
I don't know if I want it or
29?
not.
29?
It's not.
No.
Number
10.
10.
No, it's
Number
not.
10.
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
I was hoping for that.
That would be crazy.
Number 20, Reading Blackpool.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
You
Can
take
I
that?
lock that in now, please?
Michael will take Manchester City.
We're not having it. It's going to go
Cardiff.
Ooh, number 8.
Cool, okay. There's some good
Cardiff
ties for the
Carlisle.
non-Premier League clubs here. They've got a chance of
So,
progressing.
Definitely.
This is us. This is us.
West Ham.
Okay, here we
Come
go.
on, West Ham.
West
Ham.
Ham.
I want to get revenge on Oxford. They knocked us out of the League Cup. I want to take on
18.
Oxford.
Let's see
West
who it
Ham
is.
at home.
Give me
18, Man
Oxford.
City?
No.
No.
Number 6.
West
That
Brom.
is
Brom.
West Brom.
Oh, it's West Side.
Well, West Brom is playing West. They're
take it.
playing well at the moment, West
Yeah,
Brom
they are
as well.
Burnley.
Championship.
Oh, I'd take a trip to Burnley for some more pies.
Yeah. All he's after is the pies.
Norwich.
Norwich
No.
City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relegation scrap, you could say. Burnley not quite in the
Burnley,
same position
Burnley.
as Norwich at the minute.
Okay, so God, they're leaving Man City till last here, Micah. How are the nerves?
Yeah, Liverpool's still in the hat as well.
Yeah.
Liverpool
They
is
are.
going to be Liverpool City.
Do you reckon
isn't
it's
it?
going to be City
Birmingham.
Liverpool?
Probably
Birmingham.
is.
Fancy
Yeah, look
that.
at the teams that are left though. I mean, you could have Liverpool
I
City
think
on
we're going to
this.
get
Or
it. I think we're going to get
You
Liverpool
predicted
City.
that
Yeah,
earlier,
I said
didn't
it
you,
earlier.
Spencer?
It just makes so much sense.
18 City.
Here we go. City.
Let's go.
At home.
At home, we'll take the home
Take
time.
it
We'll
on.
take the
Number
home
12.
time.
It's gonna be
Liverpool's
12.
number
It's
12.
gonna
Come
be
on,
12.
come on.
Is
Think
it?
12.
Come on.
It's not.
No, it's
Fulham.
Fulham.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
That's nice.
Alexander Mitrovic, who's going to bang a hat trick.
No. Benny still have him in his pocket.
Rochdale and Newcastle. Okay. Now, if Rochdale can come out, if our mate Aaron Williamson can bang Wilbraham, can get another goal, could he play Liverpool?
Could he play Liverpool? No.
9.
Oh,
Nine,
okay.
Oxford United,
Imagine
okay.
Rochdale Oxford in the next round.
Ooh. Okay, so there's 4 left in the hat now. So number 27, we've
Pompey.
got Pompey, former winners of the FA Cup. Who are they going to get? Could it be
Whatever happens, Liverpool have got a decent
yeah,
draw.
they have, haven't they?
Whatever happens. 17.
Oh, it's 17.
Barnsley.
They're just getting
So-
a rub of the green.
Well,
Look at this.
we got to hope
It's
Bristol
insane.
at home. We've
How
got to
many
hope Bristol at home here.
It
Yeah,
is.
brilliant.
Bristol
Or Shrewsbury, of
or
course.
Shrewsbury,
Yeah.
yeah.
Deary me.
It's just, look at it.
You know it's coming now.
Micah.
Micah, you are every other football fan in the world right now that isn't a Liverpool fan.
I know,
You
everyone loves Liverpool. All my mates are Liverpool fans.
That's a great game to watch, though.
Yeah.
I used to love Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I still do like Liverpool, but
You just
Like,
said, though, that
I
they're
just-
getting the
I just-
rub of the
I-
green at the moment.
no, they deserve a little bit of the rubber green because they're playing so well. But it's like all these Liverpool fans are out the woodwork. You know, like Man City was always Man U rivalry. And now Liverpool are giving us stick, you know. And it's like, well, we always respected you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just seem to be getting all the look at the moment.
Well, Liverpool, the last team to be drawn for the 4th round of the FA Cup. Let's take a look at the draw in full then and see those ties. And obviously the first one out, Watford or Tranmere Rovers. That's Chris's team against either Wolves or Manchester United, which was a 0-0 draw in the 3rd round. Frank Lampard's Chelsea have got to go to Hull City. We've got Bournemouth against either Arsenal or Leeds, which is kicking off in just a few minutes time, around 10 minutes until Arsenal Leeds kicks off. I think that's a nice tie. Brentford against Leicester.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that
I'm
one.
looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. There's a lot of good matchups in. There's a lot of chances for some of the non-Prem teams to go forward at least one more round, if not further. We've seen it often, of course, in the FA Cup. Got plenty more games to look at as well. I'm quite liking Northampton Derby. I'm not going to lie. Scott Pollock versus Wayne Rooney, one of the best English players of his generation, against Wayne Rooney.
Very good. Obviously, Chris, how are you feeling about Watford's draw?
Well, had a minute now to sort of take it in. I think, look, it's. I think it's a tricky game at this stage of the tournament. I just feel like we can't flush Wolves, which is a bit annoying. We keep getting linked with them. It'll be a good match. if both teams played their best teams.
Yeah.
But as you said, I think it's great for the FA Cup, and as a fan of the FA Cup, it's great to see that so many lower teams in the league have a really good chance of getting through to the next round and hopefully progress through the tournament. Because that's the best thing about it, right?
It is. You talk about team selection, and that's the thing that everyone talks about now with the FA Cup. Do you expect to play a strong team for the fourth round?
I think we have to. I think you cannot... Look at the round that we're in now, the FA Cup. Every one of these teams can conceivably go out, and you're in deep now. Do you know what I mean by that?
It's difficult though, because you don't want to get into. Do you want to stay in the Premier League, or do you want to? You know, are you going to win the FA Cup?
Yeah, Wigan won and they went down.
Are you going to win the? Are you going to win the FA Cup? Realistically,
if they don't get,
are you telling me that we won't?
Well, they won't. No.
Can't say that.
Well, I don't think. Well, that's my opinion.
Let's go back to last year, right? So, had Brighton beaten Man City in the semi-final, and Watford played Brighton,
which Brighton could have done. Like I was at that game. Brighton, in my opinion, should have won that game.
Yeah.
Could have, would have, should have.
But you're saying can't, won't. Whatever the other one is.
No, but I'm just talking about, would you rather stay in the Premier League? You know what I mean? These lot of games, don't forget, when you come through the Christmas period and you're straight into FA Cup, it's difficult.
Mate, this is what I don't... No, but this is what I don't get about you guys. Like, you're on so much money, just do both. I don't get this either or. It's the FA Cup, so come on.
It's just happened before that. We talked about Wigan, do you remember? And you ask Wigan fans now, a lot of them will tell you they'd take it, that to win the FA Cup was so special for them. Even though it meant they went down. The difference with Wigan was that it always felt like they were punching above their weight as a club in terms of the size of the club. So to have the FA Cup win is amazing. No one could take it away from them.
But it's an interesting thing with the team selection on, say, the Watford game against United or Wolves, as opposed to, say, Liverpool v...
Bristol City or Shrewsbury?
Yeah. Bristol City or Shrewsbury. As in, you know, for both Watford and United, they do have to play their full-strength teams in that, really. To win the game.
If they want to go through,
Liverpool could conceivably have another run out.
Well, Curtis Jones, we're going to get to see him again, sure. Yeah. You've got to play him in that game.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, an exciting prospect. I think that Brentford game as well. That's
going to be a good tie,
that's going to be great.
Leicester City. What do you fancy in that game? Do you think Brendan Rodgers will play a strong side for that?
Yeah, I think Leicester have got a strong squad though. If you actually look at them now, there's a lot of players in that team who are banging on the door, you know, and even when... You know, a lot of people said when Vardy got injured, they'd struggle, but they're going to go and get results. Iheanacho had obviously a sticky start, but he seems to fit what they're trying to do now. And the manager's sort of just galvanised the players, and not just the 11, but the whole squad. So I think whatever team they go with, they'll be strong.
Yeah, but what weekend are these matches played? Won't Maddison be at United by then? Or,
speculating again, I see.
Well, that's the thing. It's obviously there could be several moves before these ties take place. So that's actually a really, really interesting point. What about Frank Lampard at Chelsea? Because everyone I think most Chelsea fans at the start of the season, if you said to them, come January, you'll be in the top 4. And you'll be in the 4th round of the FA Cup, they'd have snapped your hand off for that, wouldn't they, Chris?
Absolutely. And I think it comes back to what we're saying about youngsters, and obviously Chelsea have had a huge amount of praise for how they've dealt with their situation and the team selection that they've made. Liverpool, you know, it was an amazing story seeing so many youngsters. But yeah, I would totally agree that I think at the beginning of the season there just wouldn't be that expectation of being, you know, where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's so exciting about the FA Cup this year is, you know, obviously we spoke to an older player slightly earlier, but it does feel like this is the year of the youngsters and managers aren't afraid to play them.
Yeah. I fancy Chelsea for an FA Cup run. We want to get you guys involved, of course, we mentioned. We've got a poll for you now talking about what we think is the best tie of the round. Obviously some great games, and you can see the picks of the round there. We've got Watford, Tranmere versus United Wolves. We've been talking about that. Bristol City, Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury against Liverpool. City, Fulham, or D, other, which I think is going to be a great game.
And what do you think then, guys? What's the pick of the bunch? I mean, Chris, you're obviously going to go for Watford.
Look, I think it'll be as I said, if both teams are fully firing, it will be a great game of football. But for FA Cup, I think we've got to say Liverpool, surely, or the.
City game as well.
City.
I like your game personally because any combination of those 4 teams is a good game.
Yeah.
Because if Rochdale get through, sorry, not Rochdale, Tranmere get through, it's a great link up. It's a great story.
Totally.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Quick one here from Newington 13, who's a Southampton fan, who says we are not scared of Spurs. So there we go.
Very
Keep
good.
your thoughts coming in. Hashtag Emirates FA Cup.
We've got a man on the ground, Ben Haynes, who was there as it all went down at the Emirates for the draw. And we're going to link up with now and have a chat with him about how the mood is over there. Ben, can you hear us?
Ben?
I've got you guys. How you doing? You all right?
Good. How are you? How was that there? You're obviously watching it right in the room with Chappers, Alex and David.
Look, I've got the cup right behind me.
Oh,
we literally just had the draw just in here, a bit of silverware. Just had the draw just go on, and the atmosphere's building here as teams just about to come out. So quite an interesting draw. I was interested to see how Chris was getting on as Watford came out. Bit of a rough one there for you guys.
It is rough, but hopefully good.
I think the interesting one for me was seeing that Bournemouth came out for whoever's going to play, whoever gets through tonight. I mean, that's a really tough draw for whoever gets through. Going away to Bournemouth, they'll be looking for a cup one considering their form in the league. So, a big one for Arsenal and Leeds if they get through. And I particularly enjoy listening to that Southampton saying they're not afraid of playing Tottenham, obviously, having just turned them over on New Year's Day.
Yeah, Ben, obviously you're there for the game tonight as well. Arsenal against Leeds. It's the final game in the third round matches. What's the atmosphere like building up to this one? And obviously the fans there must be pleased to see Arteta field quite a strong Arsenal side.
Yeah, and I think that's very pragmatic from him. He knows he's got to keep that momentum going. He's talked about a number of different things that he wants to see from his team, and the only way to do that is to try and get some momentum on the pitch. So he's gone for a fairly strong side. Obviously, Lacazette leading out the line. So, I think good decision from him. On the flip side, we know with Bielsa, his team's going to come with a lot of energy. The fans outside are making a hell of a noise. Lots of Leeds fans travelled down, so a really good atmosphere building behind me.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Enjoy it.
No worries. See you later, guys.
Guys, I want to ask you about this game coming up because I'm even more interested in it now because West Ham have got a similar tie where we take on West Brom. So you've got a Premier League team who, like Arsenal, slightly underperforming. West Ham are doing the same. Going up against a Championship team doing very well in Leeds, or in West Ham's case, West Brom. So with the Arsenal-Leeds scenario, who do you expect to come out on top? The team that's winning the majority of their games in Leeds or the team that's had a rougher start?
I think it's a hard one to call, isn't it?
I think it's very tough to call. Just because, anything can happen.
Yeah, this is the job of a pundit now, then, Micah. You've got to make the call.
It's difficult. I expect Arsenal to win tonight.
Okay.
I just because it's at home. If it was at Ellen Road, I'd expect Leeds to win tonight.
Okay.
Just because I think the fans are going to have the advantage, and the way Arsenal are, it's a new look Arsenal. If it would have been Arsenal 2-3 weeks ago, I would have said definitely Leeds. But just because of the way Arteta's sort of changed the way the players' mentality is and all the fans are on board, I'd have to say Arsenal, but I think it'll be a tough game.
Well, Chris, we saw that change in mentality, particularly against Manchester United. I mean, the Arsenal players came out with such aggression. They were determined to win that game, weren't they? And I think that's what Arsenal fans have been desperate to see this season.
I think so. I think it's good signs. But I think the FA Cup is a totally different tournament. And, it's under the lights. Night time's been a big build-up to this game. I can't help but feel the romance of it all and want Leeds to win and think that they can. And I think in the FA Cup, more than any other tournament in the world, when you're the underdog, that's a very powerful position to be in.
That's what's so special about the FA Cup. We've had some chat from you guys. VMAX6969. City won't go to the final. Big prediction. 420 Parker said young lads at LFC can win against Bristol. And Jamie Bridgman, Spencer, I can't wait to see hashtag win the FA Cup. My team, hashtag United in the FA Cup next year.
It's going to happen.
Cancel the draw, you don't need it. It's already done.
Let's have a look then at an update of those poll results. You can still vote on this now. What is your tie of the draw? And it looks as though Liverpool against either Bristol City or Shrewsbury is currently winning the poll. It's going to be a great tie. All right, guys, it's gone so quickly. Arsenal Arsenal Leeds is about to kick off. So before we let you guys go, what are you up to for the rest of the year, Chris?
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, you've got
rest of the year.
Every day.
Every day.
Well, I'm doing more of the podcast with Peter Crouch,
Yeah.
so that's good fun. And then Radio 1 and what else? I don't know.
Everything. Micah, lots of telly work.
lot of telly work.
More pie eating.
Yeah, more pie eating. Go around all the ground, see what I can.
All the pies.
Great stuff, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. That's about it from us. We're back for the next round. It's the fourth round of the Emirates FA Cup on Monday, 27th of January. Hope to see you there. Make sure you follow Emirates FA Cup on Twitter, not just for progress in the rounds, but you can see all the goals as they go in from the games, which I love. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Enjoy Arsenal Leeds. Bye.